I recommend we just move forward with the thing for Rand. There's never been even a no vote, so they haven't done it for it. This would be the 4th year in a row we had the winter banquet here, and they have a set price. I think that's what we're here to talk about. Also, the sports association's agreements. Besides,
I thought we'd approved them already.
no, they had been agreed. They had been agreed to, and we were going to bring them to the November meeting to get the official approval.
I thought our last one we said they're approved
No.
on condition of changing that word.
Well, they
Yeah, I thought there was
changed
just a couple
the,
little changes.
We did not vote them in.
yeah, they changed the wording on the rental of the fields.
Yeah. And so that can be done. It's at the council meeting. I want to move forward if we get them done. Move it into next year.
Were they meeting in December?
We met this Thursday.
We made it twice. Supposed to.
Well, tomorrow night's a budget workshop, so they'll just discuss the next year's budget. But Thursday night's an actual council meeting. Does anybody have any thoughts on the thing with the Chamber of the Sports Association agreements? Is everybody comfortable with this?
Everybody was fine with the last one, right?
Yeah.
Except we didn't have an official.
No, I
And
understand,
the associations are good with it, so.
if you had Amanda in there, you guys are okay with that. Over the last 2 months, we've had 5 people aware of that, so
That's a
nobody's
majority.
had a, nobody's had an
It's a
issue.
spread out majority.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's what we'll do.
It's the run.
Tell the council we had a spread out majority.
I like that. We did something new.
Yeah.
Discussion of Mills Pool Phase 2. It's in the budget. It hasn't, we went in our budget workshop last Tuesday. It wasn't questioned, so I think just completing the locker room is something we're on track to do in 2015. And
This too.
what's that?
I want to email me what he said about it. We're currently working on finalizing the request for proposal for design and planning process for Mills Park Pool Bathhouse. We expect to open it up for bids after the holidays. We should know our designer/engineer for the bids on January 2015. And we will work with the designer to finalize the plans for the building and expect opening for bids before summer. We hope to start construction for the new building in September 2015. We'll open the pool this summer with the old building in place. Park staff will do their best to keep everything safe and working order.
Is that because we couldn't get it approved till now?
Yeah. There's a small part of me that thinks we can
Make it happen. Well, you gotta go.
make it happen. We're gonna have to finish it.
You gotta go through the health department and all that.
Yeah.
And it's on their time schedule.
Yeah.
It would just be just like last year up to the last minute.
I think there's some purpose. I mean, we'll see. That's what
It definitely could, but then when the new one's there the following year, then we're, you're back, you know what I mean? If we can't get it done, then we can't get it done. I mean, what do? You get through somebody's arm or break
Yeah,
the
but if you
rules.
if you lose people, maybe they go
Maybe you get it
somewhere
back.
else. Maybe don't.
Oh, I'm not crazy about it doing it that way. I hope we don't. I mean, I know ODOT sucks. We've been doing some work on it and it feels like the time to break the time.
I feel like estimated shortfall is 25,000.
Well, there is no shortfall with the grant and what we budgeted to build the locker room. We budgeted enough.
But does that include some bathrooms?
Yeah, it includes the bathrooms and a concession area.
Okay.
The only thing it doesn't include is the demolition, and I really think we need the demolition. It's a fun plan. How much stuff can you tear up, tear stuff up? You know what I mean?
I think that sounds kind of fun.
We're so limited too
Why don't you get your waivers?
Boys and girls club's gonna have to bring mine over there.
We're so limited on funding. I can't get any more costs, or we're not gonna have a building of any size. It's down to the, about as small as we can make it, and still pay the things we have to pay and pay for the building.
Okay. Then if we are not gonna make it in time for the opening of 2015, how much does the reserve, I mean, could we expand what we're doing?
We're not building any reserves. I'm sitting this in the budget workshop Tuesday night, and if I go back tomorrow night, which I don't think I'm supposed to, unless they call for us to come back, since last year, the 1/8, which is supposed to be building parks reserves, is all transferring into the budget now. So there's no reserve building up. which means there's no money to do projects or any renovation. Any renovations, doing it that way moving forward means it has to be grant or sponsored or budgeted money. It's really not the way, it's not the way that Parks wants to do it the way I want to do
The
it.
1/8 that we supposed to get from Parks,
It's transferred all into the Parks budget to make the budget whole. I mean, there's a reason why it's being done.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
But it still has to go for O and M, right? And for O and M.
Well, I mean, a large majority of everything we do is operations. I mean, it's operations. It's so broad, you know, you could say, you know, lights running, paying utility bills, what it parts it goes to, that's your operation.
So this was not your choice, this was kind of mandated to you.
Yeah,
But the same token,
because I would put back as much as I could.
but in years past, Parks has depended on transfer from the general fund to even operate.
Yeah.
Like 300,000 or more. So this would, I'm assuming, would mean less is transferred to the general fund. So they would surely build up surplus in the general fund.
Which doesn't do us a lot of good.
No, but you still have to go back, petition the council, I mean, that's what we have to do.
We need to do revenue to sponsorships, memberships, revenues in here, that stays
Within our
yours.
yours, yeah. And certain things, you know, if we do just a general sponsorship, then it would go into the general budget. But if we did something where we specifically, I feel like I'm not talking to you, because everybody's saying, you want to go down here? Snuggle up here, bud.
here, come on.
We'll move that, that's right.
Like
I'm the same way.
certain programs we did, like the school board stuff, where we raised money for those school boards that we actually, you know, earmarked for that. But other sponsorships that we get, unless it's like for a team in a league or something like that, where we say, hey, it's gonna buy these jerseys, then it just goes into the general. And we have, you know, these sponsorships. They're not tied to anything specifically. They're in our parks revenue, which is offset by our expenses. So anytime we do, like Brandon worked on with Academy to get those wall mats, that money is specifically for the mat and putting the logo of Academy on those mats. And that's what we have to do within the sponsorships to make sure it goes to certain ones. Specifically, you know, earmarked for a certain project or, you know, program, whatever.
Back to the pool, I don't think that we can get it finished by the opening day.
No, he's not very confident in it.
Not confident.
I think it's possible.
Because of the money or because of just
Well,
amount of days?
we put out our RFP hoping that the budget gets approved, so by the time it hits the papers, the money's approved, because, you know, you don't want to do all that without having it approved. So now that comes back, and we have a designer, then they have to do the design, and then you have to bid out the construction. You know, those processes take a while, you know, a few weeks to go through put out the RFP, have the people come here and ask, you know, exactly what you're doing. You know, we'll do like a site visit and talk about the construction of the project, and then you have an actual bid open. And then, what if the bids don't come in right? Then it's even farther behind, you know. It's I mean, we can go through the process and try to finish this year, and if we get to, say, the end of the process and they're ready to start new construction, and they say it's 90-day construction, then it's, let's see, March, April, May. You'd have to, they said a 90-day project, so you'd have to start by March 1st to even have 90 days. You know what I mean? If we can't do these, you know, the bids and the bid openings before March 1st and don't have 90 days. Yeah,
Well, you got 2 months
March, April, May.
Yeah,
2 months to get it
February.
done. Yeah.
to get all the paperwork.
But the RFP is already going out. So if the budget gets approved Thursday, then we can go ahead and start working this RFP if proposals come back.
I thought the plans were pretty well done.
Oh, no, we have a concept. Yeah, there's not a plan, there's not actually a plan for the building. Because up until now, we really don't still even have the actual money to pay for it. We have a grant in place, and the reserves are there, but it's never been officially approved to go for that project.
Could you talk to him to see how long it take him to get the plans ready?
Oh, yeah.
So we do have reserves.
Yeah,
Sort of.
they have been slowly going away. To make our budget meet what the transfer's supposed to be to make it whole each month, we've had to take, we've had to take a little bit out. So when we matched that grant, we had right at that amount of 50. And Joy said right now it's probably around 50.
Okay.
I don't have a that balance.
And the grant was another 50?
The grant's 50.
We had 40, so that's still, the way we were doing it, that still puts about 25 and 30.
So what I did was I put in our parks budget for 15 that just come from the general budget, the 65,000 to go with the 50 to make it 115, 100 for the building, 15 for your engineering and services and administration fees.
Yep.
So it's not the reserve, and the reserve, that reserve amount will still be there. We're actually not going to touch that
Okay.
if the budget's approved this way. I mean, that's the ideal scenario to do it that
And
way.
that's what we need to know on Thursday. Now, what if we do run into a delay where we're still in construction on the new design, but it's time to open? What are we?
Well, let's
There's that kind of a, it's one of those deals that we can't.
no,
go
because
by
the health
certain
department
date.
requires certain things to enter a shower. But what we would do is, if we were ready to start before March 1st, we had 90 days, say before the Memorial Day holiday, and we went ahead and started opening, and they got behind, we just would have to open. You got to figure if they say it's going to be 90 days, there's penalties involved. They're going to be close to that 90 days because you're going to give them a fine for you say they're not finished.
Yeah.
So it would be, a week or two difference, not a month or late in the summer.
So we couldn't pull apart in our construction kind of thing. It's like.
Not for the pool. There's health department
That's what I figured.
code and things that won't allow you to open a pool without certain facilities. And a restroom and a shower being the big reason why.
Absolutely.
That's what you should say.
So in this process, even if we start to go forward, if we do feel we're going to get into a delay,
We would open with the old building.
yeah, that's what I think so.
Yeah. Which means the demolition couldn't happen until we were absolutely certain construction could begin.
There's a lot of
We're dancing
scenarios.
here.
Yeah.
That's part of the reason ODOT's skeptical. This is his third or fourth project where he's been under that time crunch, and it's very stressful for him, and he's already got another million things going. And, it'll just have to be something where
He'd rather wait and do it after the season.
it'd be a lot easier and smoother for him, less stressful. Because if we do it this way, it's gonna be up to the last minute. And he's gonna feel all the pressure, which I'm not. If the weather messes you up and they're late, or,
Every
I
year.
mean, the public wants it open, it's not
Public is
open,
under
but,
pressure.
yeah, I mean, if they're still, that's like last year. I mean, we had certain people put a lot of pressure on us, and put pictures out that said, hey, it won't happen, it's not gonna happen, and then we did it, It actually came, it worked out just fine, like we said it was gonna happen. Sorry, don't let it there.
I did not say it would open.
Y'all worked your tails off, so you have.
But if you looked at the facility, you could have looked at it and thought, hey,
There's the
that's-
city. It's up to you.
yeah, it was a lot of hands on that, and so I think that would be more challenging than a building. I think, but I understand all that's concerned. So we're just gonna move forward in the process and see how the timelines fall. We'll push it as hard as we can because I want it to happen now. I mean, I'd like to see that right away. So that's my stance on it. And I'll give on all the support I can to make it happen and take all the heat when it opens the time. So let's just, as a committee, we're gonna just know that we're gonna try to make it happen this year. Not skeptical, and you probably understand why. He had the same thing with the splash pad, and it was way behind, and he felt a lot of heat from that. We opened it halfway through the summer in 11, so I mean, he feels responsible and bad for something like that not finishing. I don't want to miss my game. All right, let's go on down to this next one real quick, and then I'm probably gonna step out. We discussed a few things at the budget workshop the other night with council, and there was some things that they brought to me, and right now we have a balanced budget. We've made a lot of cuts, but there's a balanced budget that we presented to the council Thursday night. But they had some suggestions to look at other ways to save money. Every year they look at our budget report and see that there's a fee assigned to what our it says credit card fees is what it's called. But what that is our processing our money. That includes any credit card fee that we get. Active Net takes out 1%. And this year there's $35,000 that are budgeted for credit card fees. And what that is is the fee that we absorb as opposed to assigning it to the customer. When we put a committee together back in 2009, part of our philosophy was, because we talked about some water departments do it, some electric companies do it, you know, the necessity, market or luxury to be a member of, and then we would absorb that fee. Right or wrong, that's what we did. Well, my problem with it is, we got a bunch of people that we made that agreement to, but they wouldn't pay that fee. You know, so I'm struggling with assessing that fee to people that already have a draft or using their credit card. Yeah. Now, any purchase from here on out, I could get on board with assigning that fee as long as they do it. You know, we tell them, hey, we're assessing that fee. Or even members moving forward. If you set your draft up, it's going to be a little additional charge to do it that way. And I don't like that as much as I do as somebody renting a room. I think if you set up your membership on a draft, I don't know why I guess it's just the process of the card. You can do it on your checking account.
You just need that cost into the rental.
And not even make it a convenience fee, a credit card a convenience fee. Well, I'm less on board with that than some of the other ones. One of the other ideas was to close the center an hour earlier, or to close it in the middle of the day when you have kind of a dead period. Now, I've got to do some research, and I've done a little bit. I provided you with a study that we did when we talked about closing some of these days anyway. And these were some of the holidays that we were open and how much we made on those days. And then I've got some numbers here. Basically, to run the center on an average day, if you were open 15 hours Monday to Friday, 12 on Saturday, and 8 on Sunday. So I'm giving you an average cost. An average cost to run the center is about $1,219 a day. Averaging, obviously, around $100 an hour. Utilities is about $780 a day. Staff's around $439. Staffing's around $430. That's an average. It could be, less or more depending on who's here and hours of operation. Full-time people, whether it's overtime, what's going on. But that's an average cost.
That's my question on holidays, city holidays, do they get time and a half? Is it treated like a?
To part-timers
Yeah.
or full-time? Full-timers absolutely do.
Yeah, they get.
Matter of fact, if a full-timer has to work on a holiday, they get their hours. Yeah, they get their hours plus double time. Well, they get their hours here if you're double time.
It'll be time and a half that goes into overtime. So I mean, basically, if you have
Anything over 40 hours a week, holidays.
Yeah.
Well, their hours doesn't get on a holiday. Figured.
my understanding was it was just physical work for overtime. So you get, let's say I had a week where it's 44 hours, and 8 hours of it was holiday time. You wouldn't get that in a half for those 4 hours.
Okay.
So we physically worked over 40 hours.
Okay. Most of your personnel is in salary or hourly?
And I'm the only exempt employee in the department. Everybody else is out.
So, if the city is closed on a holiday for the hourly employees, they get paid for that holiday whether they come in and work or not.
Absolutely, everybody gets holidays.
So,
It's during their work week. Now, if it's like a Monday through Friday employee, it's Saturday day off. That's not now a weekend staff. Like Joseph works like Thursday through Sunday. It's Saturday, obviously.
Basically, all full-time employees get their split 13 or 14 holidays. Everybody gets that many days off.
like for us, we don't, overtime doesn't get us on a holiday, like a holiday week. Overtime doesn't pay out to you in 48 hours.
48. City's 40.
You gotta give them.
State. It ain't no 40.
You're not, because you get 8 hours paid for the holiday pay.
Oh,
So
gotcha.
if it doesn't pay in, the overtime doesn't pay out.
Oh, it doesn't here either because you have to physically work it. I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be the same thing if it was a 2 holiday day. Still, you have to physically be there 40 hours to get overtime pay.
That's my understanding from HR.
Basically the same scenario as we're talking about.
So like if your people work on a holiday, they don't get time and a half. Is that what you're saying?
You can pay for the holiday hours and you can pay for your hours of being.
Yes.
It's not time.
Right.
So it's double time, basically.
Okay.
If I work on July 4th, I'm getting paid 8 hours already, it should be in there July 4th.
Plus whatever hours you work time works, because it's a holiday.
Right.
But we typically have part-timers work those days. It doesn't always work out that way. That's another.
We also have a schedule of each holiday on there that we all rotate. We had that, I think, in one of the meetings a while ago.
Those days, what's your average?
Oh, you could look on there, those numbers actually seem almost like pretty high. I would
For
say.
these days?
Yeah. almost.
Well, you gotta imagine that made 11.
Yeah.
Look how money made, obviously it's different.
I'm talking about for a typical day.
Yeah.
Typical day,
This is high traffic, low traffic.
I really think it's generally right around 100. I think that's what a typical day is.
I
Now,
think these are lower
yeah,
than numbers.
they're lower, except for
When
probably.
we did this study, I know we told you guys that these numbers are slower days.
That Labor Day, and we, cash-wise, really the revenue we want to look at is day passers and also people coming in and doing any kind of.
You're just wondering how much is the facility being used on those days, yeah, right?
Yeah, because that's, as soon as we close it, that's when you've got your membership going.
That's the only day I'm off.
Yeah, I've been looking
Well,
forward to this.
that's the same thing I thought about closing an hour early or during the middle of the day. You're gonna alienate some people, that's the only time they can come.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, and my other concern is typically around Memorial Day and Labor Day, even though there might not be much directly happening in here, we're still usually dealing with tournaments on site, which means you could be getting some traffic.
Well, if it's a tournament, generally that's different meeting from.
Yeah.
It's something I.
That's what I'm asking.
Oh, yeah, if it's a tournament wanting to come in,
Well, there's a tournament here, right? Wally Hall is Memorial Day. And so you've got a crowd over there anyway.
Yeah.
How much of those would be drifting this way as well?
I don't know, we probably have definitely got,
Completely different crowd.
I think it's a different one, honestly.
I'm sure we've got some business from it though.
If you're there,
But-
over here.
The bathrooms.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The bathroom
bathrooms.
Well, I'm just saying that if somebody lives in Malvern, or they up here playing ball and see this huge community center splash pad and think, my kid's birthday party there, you know what I'm saying? If they see anything we have to offer, I'm sure we get some, but I doubt it's a whole lot. Parking's pretty yeah, parking is worse than
You're looking maybe good at closing all the city hall.
well, that's what
City's closed, this city's closed.
yeah, I think that's, then that'll save us, there's 7 days that we're not closed. That'll save us about $10,000 on the year. $10,000, you know, you go somewhere, start.
There's 7 days that the city is closed.
That we stay open, yeah. Martin Luther King, Veterans, Presidents, Memorial Labor, Good Friday, and the day after Thanksgiving. We've always been shut down 2 days from
And
Christmas.
you want to pick just these three, or do you want to?
Are you talking about closing for all those days?
That's what we're recommending.
7 days.
So we can see the storm bad, then change it back.
We can't vote on that.
So, what time do you close Christmas on Thursday?
2 o'clock.
Not November, not November,
Or 6th, or 4, that was just.
In the afternoon.
What?
We're talking in the afternoon.
I didn't miss you.
Yeah, right. Open at normal time at 6. Stay open here now. Stay open till that
Some of
6.
these special events.
Yes, it is.
We don't have to just be promotional, decided.
Yeah, and the parks calendar, but like I said, we'll move that to the next meeting.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Still third Monday.
Thank you for all you guys do. Brad, thanks for getting it out. Everything all right?
Yeah, they had a reps and show, so it's easy.
Thanks, sir.
So we want to talk about promotional items?
Yeah, just, went over these before, the last meeting we talked, and the only one, like I said, the staff voted on it, the one at the very bottom that's got a low vote was the one, real quick. was the one where, hey, if you bring in your other gym's cancellation form, we'll give you guys a discount over this one. And that's just because I think it's Lisa made that point that those people are paying taxes. Those gyms are paying taxes to put on this place. It's not smart. I think it was Lisa or Jess. I think it was Jessica who said it. I thought it was pretty smart.
So what's a buddy pass?
So what we do is we would have passes for each one of the class instructors, and they go to the members and say, hey, bring a friend in here and have them try it out, because a lot of people ask a lot about, hey, can I bring a friend, can I bring a friend? We want to bring those people in and then have them retain them. That's what I mean every month with all my instructors. I need to retain clientele, keep people in here, and their numbers have been going up steadily, so it's a good sign.
So you give buddy pass one time?
Give them, yeah, basically I'm gonna give them and I can measure it, so I give them, like, each instructor 20 buddy passes. And they give them each individual person, say, go bring a friend to come in here, we mark it, and then I use those almost like day passes, and then I'll mark that on my sheet, just to make sure how many are still floating around, how many I've used, how many I've retained, so I can measure how many people we retain by doing that, and get an accurate count.
Are you gonna have, is the buddy pass actually gonna have something to fill out so you know who?
It'll say their class.
I don't need to know some name and contact information.
Yeah, well, when they come in here, when they fill out that sheet, they come in, they put their name and everything.
Maybe like our church, gotta sign in the visitors.
Yeah, we got a gift for you before you leave. Come on and see us. Some popcorn in the cup, I was using a coffee cup. So yeah, that's what the buddy pass is. It's basically a class pass, or it's a promo to get people in the door that have friends. And,
Does it come back?
people that have actually canceled their membership previously. I get a lot of gyms that I'm in, like, hey, come on back here, give you a discount or no upfront fee or
See, I
first month's
want to
free.
know why did you give a discount on the records?
Hey, well,
I wouldn't have never let.
can you eat a little bit of something or 100% of it? I mean, it's something that I think like LA Fitness does this, 10 Fitness, Anytime. You leave those gyms, they let your contact info, you better believe they're doing anything they can to get you back in the door. And I always, I would actually go all the time with LA Fitness. 3 months later, they come back and say, hey, we get for half the price it was. So it's not
Yeah. Month without a new guy can sign up for 50 guys.
Yeah, I don't like that one.
What's that? Oh, the comeback promo?
Yeah, I don't like that one. I mean, I think people are gonna, like my serious satellite, I'm gonna wait till it dies. I mean, wait till my subscription ends and wait for a comeback promo. It's a luxury.
Just call and say you're going to cancel and put you in touch with the customer, like retention specialist. That's what you just go with.
The lowest one every year.
Once, and we have noticed this in our business, once you let the genie out of the bottle, once we do some of these things, there's no going back. Once you start discounting the goods, the customer waits for the discount.
Well,
And I think that's what that's.
What's great about these is it's a contract. So I mean, I'm happy for a year on here with this comeback promo. So you come in, you can't just get it, cancel it, and then get a promo again. You know, you're on it. You're renewing. Even remember right now, I have 15 months. I'm like, that it's a good rate for. You know, I get 3 months free or a month free or 50% off.
So you wouldn't use
Well, I'm
that as
extending your contract for another year. So now you're within contract again. Because after a year, they're month to month. Now I'm basically renewing their contract for 12 months. So getting a lot more time.
Guaranteed.
Yeah, guaranteed they're for
12 months instead of 1.
as long as it's reasonable.
What would you guys consider as reasonable? I would think something like 40% off for a month or 2 months, or you give them some sort of upfront price cut.
How much?
If you're, say you have a family and it's $42, let's just say 25% for the sake of math, $10, $12 you're giving off. You can do a number of things. You can maybe give them like a month to month. One instead of doing a full contract, those will come back.
That's 25%.
Yeah, it's like 25%. Yeah, I mean, so like $10.5 basically is 25% 42. So yeah, if you want to monetize it,
So
that's
we
what
wouldn't be hitting Black Friday, New Year's resolution, 30 to 50% off.
Those, no, I would do something up front where you can save a little money. You sign up, come back, hey, we're going to give you your first month is free. And then basically I set it to where it doesn't deduct the next $25, $42 until 2 months in, or it's prorated for the first 2 months, or prorated the whole contract, or something like that. There's a number of things we can do on this. It's just really what we're comfortable with. My trying to retain it. These are just ideas, so I mean, any one of these, you're like, it's too messy, just.
Well, unfortunately, it's way too close to do it. I mean, I'd be interested in trying something for New Year's and see if it can work.
Yeah.
Just too, too close now.
Yeah, it really, this is a lot of stuff for next year. It's just some things that we need to be able to.
I prefer a friend,
Bring a friend. Those are pretty basic. And 50 doesn't have to be $50 credits, a 2-month credit for an individual for you. But if I get somebody for $325, $350 or $300 for a year membership, yeah, I'll get $50 off the guy for it. I just got somebody $300. So that's a pretty decent deal. Doesn't even have to be that much.
What's a fit like?
Fit Club Black is someone who does a certain amount of days in each one of the programming we have. Once they do like 8 classes in each one of the classes, they get a plaque or whatever, something, so it gets them going to the classes and maybe buying membership. So I think we can put it out there. It's enforcement for people who are our classes. Almost sounds terrible to look at, but like almost like go to like a flying saucer and see like a wall of foam or whatever, it's like the same kind of thing. I go to classes. Black Friday, Cyber Monday, you guys kind of know about that, giving a percentage off. Could be internet only for the Cyber, obviously for Cyber Monday. You're buying a membership, so you get this percentage off that day only. And it could be for only for buying a full year membership if you want to do it that way. Yeah.
I would think we should have
And that's good because for going into the season, so we don't get that. Like people who are doing stocking stuffers for 10 passes. That's probably a good thing for us to do. Those memberships are easy to push as like, hey, here's a card, you already paid for the membership, you come get that square away and then come use. So we'll just take a monthly on here. The good thing about the monthlies though is when you get people on monthly, and even though after a year your contract is up, it continues month to month, taking out until they say, hey, I'm done. Year's resolution is the same kind of thing. Private sessions, really, this isn't any kind of consideration, but just kind of throwing the idea at you guys. We currently have private swim lessons for people over at the pool. It's do the same thing for personal training for our instructors, however, like yoga classes, etc. Except they register up front, credit card, all that, and then we get 40% of the instructors, we get 60%. And it wouldn't take anything, but they enroll, and then I have it automatically notify that instructor saying, hey, you got somebody who wants to schedule an appointment. And I give the instructors certain times in the year they make extra money. It doesn't take anything. Yeah.
Call the parent, client.
Yeah. And those are a lot more, like the summer ones are pretty low. But the only hard part about that is finding staff to do it over there. Over here, it's not so hard because these instructors are over there. They're trying to get clientele.
How did your instructors switch over to the new plan?
Well, good, because it was probably more advantageous for a few. The only ones who it wasn't advantageous for was probably Jody was right on the cost, right there. And then back Miriam was here as an instructor. They weren't there. She was just doing different. She was basically renting the facility, so we see it was a conflict of interest. So given the option, she didn't want to take it. So wasn't instructors not campus. So it's
I like it being open.
it's
I think it's a good value for.
I've gotten a lot of people who've said that, City Hall, a couple of people over there, it's great for us, obviously. It's just now, our job is to do that. And I've told these instructors, if you guys want to maintain this, and my eggs in your basket, you guys need to get people in there. If you want to keep making money like you do, and that's what the goal rate is for instructors. It's about $25 per class. Any other questions about that? See on there? The community nonprofit one was, we talked about that, that one was looked at. That was for like big groups of people, referred by like an agency. So like, yes, it's nonprofit around here.
On-site selling events.
So they're referred, and we give them basically referrals to the agencies and donations, so they can try to get parents to come in dance teams will be coming in here. And it's a fundraiser for them, so we start getting contracts left and right from these nonprofits.
But I would do it 10%, so.
Yeah, that was pretty lofty for 20%. I think that's why I was kind of. But they would do the work of pushing us, like, hey, you guys can raise some funds. That's not going to get a membership here. Official part it has to be a contract membership. So it can't be like this. Anything like that.
Y'all gonna try to put this on for us to vote on?
Yeah. It really needs to be voted on before we can really do anything. That's why New Year's we're kind of already behind the ball, but for next year, this is something that we could really be a little more innovative and be a little more competitive. And that's what a lot of what the other gyms are doing.
The only problem I put it on for January, everybody's going here, we're gonna go through the science.
You know, this nonprofit, actually, we do things called off-site selling events. Where we'll go into every hospital, like they did one over here at Sling Memorial this year. And they give the Sling Memorial Foundation, Hospital Foundation, percent of sales. So, and they bring everything from source nuts, bags, shoes, whatever. So that actually might be because your nonprofit's gonna do all the work for you.
And the thing is too, like my many of my big things about is community relations and getting relationships with all the different nonprofits and organizations in the city. I have a lot of those established and always looking for this kind of ways they can raise some money.
Well, and the stuff, when you're sending out emails for promotions and stuff, that's just going to people that are on your database. This takes it out of your
Yeah,
database,
exactly.
and it might actually
Think
benefit us.
about these ball associations, soccer, think about all these senior and youth organizations. There's quite a bit out there in this community. We sit at hand, a lot of these places that can really help spread the word. Raise a little bit of money while actually making us a lot of money. So,
Yeah. That might not be a
10%.
bad thing. Yeah, it might not be a bad promotion.
And obviously we're gonna take this back and talk about this again here next go around. But what I can do is I'll spruce this up and I can have actually have an explanation of each one a little deeper and then update a couple of things, the feedback you just gave me. That way we can
Change a little
just,
bit of percentage.
yeah, like 10% on the referrals I got to the agency, payment up front for Cyber Monday, Black Friday online. And that'd be like 30% off. Lower end of the spectrum, I'm guessing, for those.
Yeah, and I think based on
Yeah.
something Joe said, if you could give us dollars so that we knew what real dollars were coming up.
Well,
For you,
there's
talk
still
about-
variables too with that though. I mean, it would be,
Just give us an example.
yeah. So, I mean, like I could give you guys, based on, if it was, based on sold 100 of these, I could give you $100. The variable is how many people we're gonna sell it to. So until I have a variable, I can't really,
But I mean,
but I can estimate it, but it's an estimation, so as long as it's, I guess, the same estimation for all of us.
yeah, or,
Because 100's been about what I'm trying to sell to really 100 new memberships pays off these instructors that are down here right now. So that was my kind of 92 was my going. We need to sell 92 new memberships this year, and we have justified doing new contracts with them. So maybe that's
Oh, we
probably
have?
yeah. That's what we have to do. Well, no, we're not at that yet. That's for the year. We got 92 new people for that. And that doesn't even count retaining people already here that probably would have left. We've already got a few people come back. Just it's not free.
Calendar, the third,
Yeah.
Monday's the evening.
Yeah. So they were talking about doing something where they're on the same leases. Same leases, yeah. And we gotta get you guys a package in there too. I think a lot of the times it's waiting on financials and just getting all
Well,
this.
the financials, we gotta get them, we have not had financials on, really.
If there was a way to have some kind of a special event, really attractive to people, and if you were a member here, you got a 50% discount under that. I don't even really know what I'm talking about here. I know I took over a statewide association, $100 registration fee. And you could get into that conference whether you were a member or not of the state association. So what I did was, we raised the conference fee to $200 per person. But if you were a member of the association, you could come for $100. So, and we raised our membership, we doubled our membership.
Yes. I would assume so.
So it's just a concept. I don't know what you can do or plan to do, but it's kind of reverse of what we're saying is that you come here and get a discount. What I'm saying, you go there, you get a discount because you're here, and it's so profitable, it makes you want to be a member here.
We, there's a couple things with that. One, we've talked about having some membership kickbacks and events, members-only events here where we'd have to put them on for us to be like, yeah, members are free, everybody else is this much money. And it has to be like, it could be like a haunted house, or it could be some sort of special, like, battle of the bands in here, or something like that. But when you're talking about bringing in, let's say, just honestly, like big tournaments, or you're talking about any kind of like an MMA show in there or whatnot, you have to have the person that's going into the gym and be like, hey, we need to get in here. Our members get in free to this event as part of the contract when you come in here. And generally that means as well, we're going to have to work with you guys on the price of the facility if you guys can utilize it. And I've thought about that before. When we have big, usually local tournaments, that we have a lot of local people in here, especially several of them, it's like, well, hey, maybe if we could find a way to work something out where our members get in here free, it brings value to our memberships. And that's what we're trying to do here. But when it's somebody else putting it on, you're reaching into their pocket. So that's the hard part.
So you're thinking like we're doing like the basketball program this year,
Well,
for
right
next
now,
year?
after I get through walking, right now, I can't go down there and watch basketball.
Paying $1 more a
30 minutes,
can,
I
good.
gotta pay $1 a can, good.
Yeah.
Just give us some lima beans like everybody else can get in there.
So I can put a can of lima beans as I'm walking.
Yeah.
Just walk real slow,
There's-
stomp a
it's-
lot up there.
The big problem is we don't have a lot of staff. I mean, you guys are very bare bones staff. And so putting on events is hard without partnering with organizations, which is what we do a lot. I mean, we're like, hey, we have to put on this health fest. Hey, you, let's get together and try to kind of marry them into this event. We're trying to do more internal things where our members have, say it's members night, we're having like an overnight Friendship Park, we're having like a members only basketball tournament. We try to do things like that, but then there's a lot of people that have to be involved for our staff. And really there's only probably 2-3 tops that can get something like that.
Has anybody ever talked to y'all about talking to Bryant about having lock-ins for the procedure, like prom night, they do that?
Locking for
Or
kids.
graduation night?
No, when I was-
lock-in,
when I was in
they get
high
back
school-
Big crowd.
Yeah, we had a lock-in, we had donations from like all, when I was a senior, all the different
They give
places.
away big stuff.
Yeah.
Lock it in, that way they're not out drinking parties.
Yeah. And
Oklahoma does that.
yeah, we did that. We had like Taco Bell was donating all the food, all the local restaurants. We had a casino area in there where they could use these imaginary dollars to get prizes. Best Buy was donating. And it was a lot of fun. Now, I will say that when I was in high school then, we'd also get bored. And you didn't have like, the hypnotist wasn't in there doing his thing. You didn't have like a program going on or something fun. We found ways to sneak around the school and get in trouble or do things we probably shouldn't have been doing. So, I mean, that's just one thing to think about with our facilities. We have to make sure we had proper parent security. That's a great idea. You know, I hadn't even thought about that
I'll come
since.
down there when I'm ready.
Because back when my kids were there, the moms didn't have
We brought them back here because we work with them. And I use the school facilities. I work a lot of training with the school guys when it comes to, I use 5 of their facilities right now for basketball. They come in here for prom. We don't hit them for like when they load in or when they're using setting up. We don't sit there and think with everything. We use our facility cars.
See, Whitney's senior year was that first year that they brought prom to Bryant, and they were kind of bummed because prom was gonna be in the gym, but she said you walked in and she
They
said
spent
you
money.
couldn't tell
They
that
saved-
it was,
They saved like $7 or $8 grand at least for not going downtown, and the money stayed in the city, and those kids stayed safe in the city. And they took all that money and said, and it was Leanne, or was it Wooten? Or Wood? Is one, she was one that's like, we're gonna make this place look awesome, this decoration money, the food we have.
I mean,
And they
they
did.
had ice sculpture, I mean, everything.
They
was like,
came
you could
in
tell it
and they
was
did stuff,
gym.
and every year since they've been like, we want third week in April, got it, boom, knock it off. So we, every year since. Yeah, keep them here. I mean, these, you don't want them going. We went downtown as a kid, then we had ice storms in Minnesota. Driving was scary, and then always you hear those freak stories every year from somewhere. Let's keep local, keep them dining out here local in our places, keep safe. Yeah, that's back to your point on that. I'd love to do any kind of member appreciation or any events here where that membership can be used for special events. But the special events we'll put on here are generally sporting events, and the person putting that is the attorney director. And if we get things like more entertainment events, if we get TCW wrestling, or we had MMA fighting out here, or we had a dog show that went out here at one point. That'd be kind of cool to be able to link that and say, hey, you guys are free to come in for membership program. But it'd probably take us talking to the person putting on saying, hey, we'll give you guys a discount on this.
So, brainstorm a way to expand the customer base. Instead of just serving people who come here, we're up to 90% of people that are
Yeah, a lot
Is
of
there a way to reach them with the background service and do it here correctly?
I've always said to have, we do parks, different wards of our city. Taking our stuff we do here, going to a park and having a party in the park, alerting that ward, come on in here, here's what we do. Have bounce houses out there, free event, popcorn machine. We used to do this all the time where I used to work, and it was easy. It took 2 staff, part-time staff and full-time staff. And you just unload, have a little recreation worker out there working with the kids, bouncing around, put your information out, you get new customers coming in, clientele. You can really do a lot of innovative things on the cheap. But it does take a little bit of extra staff. And most of the time, right now, no staff. For us, there's so many ideas we have. We still have a lot. I mean, this is the basketball league downstairs. They're playing about 80% of my days. Getting those 500 kids situated, writing schedules, rules, signing refs. But it's a way to bring in 50 grand. I'm working on volunteers. Right now I have a volleyball program downstairs running every session. Volunteers in the school. Officials are the only thing I actually pay. And we got 500 kids who pay $7 for one and 10 for another. I mean, that's a bigger. The association downstairs is bigger than both associations up here. And it's run by the team. So, we don't counting all of our dollars in here. We'll provide financials to show you what it looks like. Associated when you have a program like that, and how much it really brings in. So every day we're working on a surplus. The dollar gator, Cam Good goes to Midtown Church. There's community relationships, bringing volunteers in, and as it grows and grows, and really this tournament's last weekend. I had pinning teams and Little Rock teams in here, and they're like, there's Bryant Park's jerseys around here. You guys have a name like that. And some people are like, oh wow, I'm coming in here. People are still asking to play, but it's just not too late. Tournaments, and that's where it needs money. So we're making it work, and the school's helping, and that's kind of what it comes down to. So
Yeah, they, school tried to shut down down. They tried to go up somehow in the green.
well, what I did is, when I first came in to ask them to use these facilities, is I told them that, I wanted to offer a league, and they would say, well, we need to take over this city league. And I said, well, I can't just take it over. I guess how it works. Like, I'll partner with the league. And we did. Me and Richard Chumley and Tommy was kind of working the back streets of it, and Richard was really fronting it. I got his son Dwayne out there right now, referee. We worked together for a couple of years, just kind of, I'd help publicize them. They'd send me young kids. I'd send them 3rd through 6th grade. I found them officials. We kind of just married together, and then finally they just didn't have the ability to maintain their league, and said, well, let Bryant run it. I went to school with a grant, freedom grants, and instead of, here's a $20,000 grant that goes towards the school, here's basketballs for this program, here's volleyballs for your school at Hurricane Creek. We get to use them. Here's $5,000 a year that goes towards turning these lights on and heating the building. And here's $3,000 that goes towards paying people to come in here and supervise your facility. I give you all that money, and then you basically just let us come in here. I don't have to manage the grant, they do. So he's opened up all his facilities, and just go and use it, and just give them a schedule and stuff. And so that's where all of our people off the courts here, and it allows us to have the size of league we have. In Hurricane Creek, League 20, 21, League 4, I got a lot of pushback right off the bat, but once you kind of show them some money, I think the health department has those opportunities. Just gotta utilize them.
But that's kind of like with baseball, you know, they used Ashley Park for years and years
Yeah.
and years. And Ashley Park, VAA never charged them any money for the high school youth. And then I think they kind of had little American Legion group use high school youth. They had to kind of work some money there.
Yeah.
But I know they didn't really want to do it. And charged them or whatever. After they used that park over there for years and years.
And that's just funny because my philosophy is you're just saying they're the same kids. Yeah, you really are. The same as kids in the district. If you're trying to promote recreation, promote opportunities for them. You know, if you guys can partner on things, why be ticky tack both ways? We can just have a stream of reciprocity. And that's what we're trying to work for. I mean, I'm not going to charge you for the pool over here if you're not going to charge me for going over to the schools. So there's your, not leverage, but you know, hey, obviously let's just open the pool.
We have different resources to
Yeah.
share them, yeah. Speaking of potential, I was talking to speaking of, he's developed a great relationship with VAA.
Yes.
And talk, and I think
I think we
that,
all really kind of have quite a bit.
but he talks to them on a regular basis. And I think that might be an opportunity for us to have some field room for practice and stuff. Because, you know, always, because there are things that you have to communicate with VAA and say, let me know what fields are open. So these other department teams, as practice, they pay $25 a pop when they practice.
Yeah, some of them will pay that for practice. So a lot of them just go, because now you're not using, you know, if you go all the way down towards the old Little Rock Fields, help me out here, what it was called. They play kickball, that's all they do there now. Really old complexes, a softball complex there. Those aren't used anymore, so a lot of teams are going down there, even from downtown. It's going towards downtown. They play the rock kickball. Yeah, you play there.
I know,
What's
but
the
I haven't played there.
No, it's
Arch Street?
It's off Art Street, yeah.
Yeah.
What's the name of that? You know what I'm talking about? There's like 50.
Well, there's a risk factor when you practice.
Yeah, oh, yeah, absolutely. So it's actually hard, but, you know, where you're gonna make your money,
13-year-old triple SA up in Old Rocks. You can hear what sounded like firecrackers, but you knew it wasn't.
I used to live close to Asher Avenue College, and I was like, I got fireworks going on. It's
This is
honest.
all
Yeah, I figured it out. Well, you know, the big thing is practices. Sometimes they'll just find a way, and that's the problem. There's like pushback is still those AU teams will just float around. They'll just jump on a field, and then there'll be a league team scheduled out there, and they know what you're knowing. Well, they've done a better job of being more transparent. People are using those fields. Where the money's to be made with rentals is really tournaments. And with those tournaments is, hey, if you have a couple weekends open throughout your schedule, we want to throw a tournament here. And you can make a lot of money, as you know, on a tournament. I mean, a lot more than even individual practices, because somebody has to come in
You mean
and
in terms of the city running that tournament?
Yes,
Like
yeah.
a city tournament, yeah.
We did it with, I got one coming up here for softball, and I talked to a gentleman not too long ago. Got another one coming in for baseball. So we're out here, we're running right around fields. They come in, you can make softball's $150 a day. You can make a lot of money, and then concessions for eating in our neighborhoods. So
Oh, yeah.
that's where you make the money.
Oh,
Practices,
okay.
I mean, as a team, as a guy who floats, I don't have an AU team, but even an all-star team out here,
Yeah,
I couldn't get out at least half the time during the all-star season because we're out there every night of the week.
Yeah.
So we had to create a fun field. But during like the winter, like right now, it's there. I mean, nobody wants to play there before the season.
Yeah, I can remember my basketball traveling days were not that far behind me, but you go on those weekend trips, you drive, easily drive $500.
Here's family, you went out.
Yeah.
And
And
that,
as from their perspective, I have a hard time keeping practices off our court. It's just I'm trying to get stuff off. If it's a game, I don't want to be here. And so I had AU teams come in here and just like, yeah, we get day passes, or I'm a member, and they come in and take up a quarter. And you can't do that. You have to reserve for your schedule. It's intimidating. So we all ready to go.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, guys.
Is this recycled?